It's Friday. Hello, Doodle Bugs. It's the Friday Doodle Diary. I'm drinking my water. Or is it just a glass of vodka? Who knows? I hope you had a wonderful week. I got so much painted just on Wednesday alone. On Wednesday, I tweeted out asking, what should I paint? And I got a bunch of replies, and I picked 3 and went with it. No, I picked 2. There's another one, and you'll see when it comes out. I can't find the original comment, and that bothers me because I swear I took a screenshot, and I'm going back through like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, everything. Can't find the original. So there you go. And thank you for like all the comments and interesting discussion. Last week we had a very riveting video about fan art and legality. And I am now legally representing every single one of you guys. So yeah. We're going to take a field trip to prison. It'll be fun. Fan art, it's tricky. It's weird. It's because on the one hand, you have morality. People kind of know what's right and wrong, but we need to set up laws to define that. But the laws are written by humans and not always apply to every single situation and stuff. So, food for thought. And there are a lot of great links to more articles, blogs, YouTube videos about that very topic. So if you're curious about fan art legalities, check out the previous video. I got a comment on that week's video too, from here. I pulled it up. Alexander Moroccan. Alexander, you know how great I am at reading names. Left a comment saying, beautiful, wonderful things about the channels. Quick query, why do most artists turn their nose up at smudging? If used appropriately and sparingly, it's a tool that helps build atmosphere and various effects in a sketch or a drawing. Why all the pro-grade hate for smudging, yo? Why? That's a really interesting, good comment, which is why I picked it and read it today. So smudging, I feel like a lot of times, and great point, Alexander, that it's a useful tool. It is a great tool. There's a lot of artists who can use it to create beautiful effects. I think the problem is when people, instead of using it as a tool, they use it as a crutch. I notice a lot of times when people are starting to draw and really getting into it, they discover, smudging is like a very quick and easy way to create gradients, to create shading. And so they do that and they use it. And then that kind of prevents them from learning how to shade with using pressure and to create that gradient effect in other ways. And so I think like a lot of artists turn their nose up at it because too often it's abused. It's the easy route. And who doesn't want to take the easy route? You know, if you want to, let's say if you want to be a kung fu fighter and but you don't like exercising, then maybe you learn the punches and the kicks, but you don't practice them. If that makes any sense. Or let's say you want to be a kung fu fighter, but you're really good at punching. You don't really like kicking, so you just focus on the punching and you only work on that, but you don't exercise the kicking. So in sticking with the analogy is sticking with the easy thing may work for you to a degree, but if you really want to get good, you got to get uncomfortable and you got to tackle those uncomfortable things. And too often people are comfortable with smudging and they don't want to try other things. Not saying that about all smudging artists or artists in general, but that's a thing. So I think that's kind of why people turn their nose up at it. I do that too. It's so easy to be like, oh, that's a mark of an amateur. I try to stop myself from making those generalizations. Those generalizations, although useful and fun, are the undoing of humanity. Or they make humanity what it is. I don't know. If you were to discriminate against one thing in your field, your area of expertise, your hobby, if you were to discriminate against something that people do, what would it be? The example is a lot of artists are like smudging. Psh, What an idiot. Like, who is the lamest group within the group that you are interested in? Leave a comment below. Let's take a dump on people via the internet and our smarmy comments. I don't know. It's a good exercise. It's analyzing the weird, uncomfortable things. I was just talking with a friend earlier today about this. That's hard to, it's easy to judge other people, and then turning it in on yourself is a little bit tricky. I took Lloyd, the lovely and talented Lloyd Alquist of the Epic Lloyd, the Epic one. There's a lot of Lloyds in the world. There's an Epic Lloyd, though. There's one Epic Lloyd. I feel like the sun's coming out and just like blasting everything with light, even more so. Anyway, I took an improv class with him where it was a master's class, and the point of that was to just see how each person performs and plays on stage, and then see what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are, and help to pull those weaknesses up, and also help point out somebody's strengths. Because once you learn, like, once you're what you're naturally good at, then it's easy to just like hammer that in. So part of that class, the very first day, you're there with mostly strangers. One by one, you stand up on stage by yourself, and then people judge you. They say, oh, this is the kind of car you would drive, or this is where you would work. You are a student, or you work in an office, but you eat fast food every day. And the circle of judgment can get so brutal and intimidating. And it's something that I think a lot of people fear. But it's kind of an important thing, too. And granted, this was a theater class thing. Theater. Oh my God. I hate when drama people start talking all Shakespeare-y, like as if they are into the theater and the arts and English and language and writing, whatever. Let's take a dump on that. It's a terrifying thing, but like in a theatrical setting, it's a necessary thing, and people are very polite and kind and thoughtful. It's constructive criticism, not criticism really, more of an observation. It's constructive. And I think sometimes in the real world it can be destructive, especially if it's via Twitter, via social media, from like a distance, leaving YouTube comments. YouTube is notorious for these really crappy comments that give nothing but a pile of poop to the person who's presented their ideas and thoughts in video form to the world. And then people are like, that's great, I don't know you. And there's like a computer and space and time separating us. So pile of turds it is. Yeah, I don't know. This was a ranty video on a Friday, just about the circle of judgment. The circle of judgment, point and define a stranger who you don't know. No, we don't know where they're coming from, but we do know who they are. No, don't hit that note. Let's just stop here. I'm gonna write a musical called The Circle of Judgment. And yeah, let me know what you think. Comment away. Serve up a pile of poo to me or someone you don't know, or to yourself. Let's revel in that. It's a healthy part of the process of living in this dimension. All right, I'm gonna go. Happy Friday, happy weekend. I'll see you next week. The fingers just started talking. All right, goodbye. Beep. Ultimately, and remember, I'm not a lawyer. But according to this non-lawyer, I would advise you to not sweat it. That is a legal term.